Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, our staff, our advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us, either by donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. So this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, May 17th, 2024. So on the front page, we have a beautiful picture of some northern lights that we have been experiencing around our communities. It says a series of powerful solar storms made the northern lights unusually visible on Friday, May 10th, all across Canada and the northern American states. Here's how it looked in Neepawa. Thank you to our friends over at Lola's Bakery for the photo. And there's some additional photos on this page. These three pictures were submitted by Francis Edie, who was able to get these impressive visuals of the recent Aurora Borealis on a farm near Erickson, just off Highway 262. Super colorful, purple and greens especially. Emergency room services return to Carberry by Owen Devereaux. Here we have Loretta Oliver, a member of the Local Health Action Committee, hugging Premier Wab Kinew as Health Minister Uzoma Azagara looks on at a press conference in Carberry on Friday, May the 10th. It was just one singular sentence from Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew that was able to elicit a loud and sustained round of applause on Friday, May 10th in Carberry. But it was a sentence that the people of the community have wanted to hear for over 8 months. We're here to announce the reopening of the Carberry Emergency Department. It goes on to say, the good news was officially shared late last week at a press conference held directly in front of the local medical facility. Kinew, as well as Health Minister Uzoma Azagara, and a wide array of dignitaries were on hand for the formal announcement. When a rural community loses its physician, the impacts go beyond health care. It's a blow to the economic vitality and future of the town, said Kinew. Our government worked hard to bring physician coverage back to Carberry, and we're glad to see the emergency department reopen so families can get the care they need. The ER, within the community of around 2,000 people, was forced to suspend services in September of last year due to staffing shortages. The issue was that the contract for the existing physician was allowed to expire, prompting the Carberry Health Centre to have to fully close its emergency department. Health Minister Azagara announced that 3 new family physicians have been hired on a rotating basis to provide health care services, allowing the ER to reopen. Emergency services were available as of April the 27th, with the physicians in place as of May the 10th. The new doctors will also provide care to residents in the community's 36-bed long-term care facility and individuals receiving inpatient care at the health center. Regular physician services also means residents can resume making appointments for their primary care needs within the community. The people of Carberry's spirit and determination to restore their health services made an impact on our government, noted Azaguera. We listened to their needs and worked alongside the community over months to bring physicians back to their community. The hard work has paid off. Securing these doctors means the emergency department can reopen, seniors can get the care they deserve, and families have access to primary health care. Carberry Mayor Ray Muirhead, who served as the facilitator for the press conference, thanked the province as well as the Carberry North Cyprus Health Action Committee for their efforts throughout the process. Muirhead noted that the community had been devastated by the loss, but that it quickly came together to work on a plan to restore health services. We're so grateful to the provincial government for their help in identifying physicians. Today, we're really feeling optimistic about the future for health care in Carberry, said Muirhead. Loretta Oliver, a member of the Local Health Action Committee, also shared her appreciation to the province for moving quickly to action. She said, "This is a very active community. The people of this community, residents, tourists, and visitors, not unlike all Manitobans, need and deserve access to health care services. This provincial government is genuinely trying to improve our health care system." Oliver closed out her remarks with a lovely gesture, a hug, and some homemade cookies, 2 different kinds of gluten-free for Minister Azaguera. Editor's note, the 3 doctors committed to support in Carberry are family physicians with established practices in Brandon and Verdun who will travel to Carberry to support. So here we have the Health Minister, Uzoma Azaguera, speaking to the assembled members of the Carberry about the return of the emergency room and arrival of 3 new physicians to the region. As Loretta Oliver of the Local Health Action Committee, Premier Wab Kinew, and Carberry Mayor Ray Muirhead look on. Well, that's wonderful news for Carberry. Neepawa students kick back with A to Z activities. Joanne Freeman's grade 6 class was enjoying some interactive outdoor activities on May the 13th. Starting that day, the students began partaking in A to Z activities, with A standing for art. As such, groups of students could be seen exercising their creative muscles and drawing sidewalk chalk artworks. The students then posed with these artworks and had their photographs taken by student journalists. The banner and press caught a portion of these chalk-based activities and took in the variety of works on display. These particular scenes were captured at the corner of Mountain Avenue and Hamilton Street. Pictured left here is a group of students that are drawing a scene with Peppa Pig among some flowers. Here in the middle is Michaela Bassani putting up a pair of peace signs with her fingers, posing with a beautifully drawn flower. And here we have Rosie Davidson. She was riding in style on her skateboard. Other scenes included collaborative drawings between Blake Rourke, Enrays Ferguson, Sam Cortez, and Jared Basco, and many more. An evening of song at the Knox Presbyterian Church. A full house attended the concert titled An Evening of Song at the Knox Presbyterian Church in Neepawa on May the 9th. The performance was given by members of the Neepawa and Area Community Choir, the Hymns, the Choraleers, and the NACI Choir. It was a great evening. Now, at the Roxy Theatre, it's a little bit different. This weekend, there are no regular movies for the long weekend, but next weekend they have 3 oldie goldies coming back. May 24th at 7:30 p.m. It is the 1993 version of Jurassic Park. The next night, May 25th, also at 7:30, is the 1996 movie called Twister. And the next night after that, or actually it's in the afternoon, so that's probably the Sunday, May 26th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the 2004 version of Shrek 2. So keep that in mind if you want to see some old movies. I'll come back to these. All right, page 6. Sober and socializing in Neepawa. Frozen Fire Studio planning second annual Sober Social by Owen Devereaux. An alcohol-free entertainment option is stirring up a lot of momentum in Neepawa as the second annual all-ages Sober Social is set for Friday, June 7th. The evening is being organized by Frozen Fire Studio and is set up to be an inclusive evening of music and mocktails. According to Jeff Descender, the owner and operator of Frozen Fire, he, along with the rest of the organizing committee, are incredibly excited to return again this year. He said everyone involved with putting the night together believe in the message of hope and support it has to offer. He said this event, we hope, can be a valuable resource towards mental health and personal wellness. We're going to have pamphlets out on all the tables from various support groups, and we hope people feel comfortable enough to learn about the types of help that are out there. They're welcome to it. It'll be on the tables and you can kind of look at it at your own leisure, just perusing. It's an overall safe space, said Descender. For the first time this year, there will also be the presentation of an award, the Mental Health Advocate of the Year. Descender said there are so many people out there supporting these projects out of the goodness of their hearts that deserve to be recognized. It's for someone who doesn't work in mental health, but they volunteer their time to helping others with their mental well-being. There are tons of people out there that do an incredible job of supporting these types of programs. And they do it not because they have to, not because they are paid to do so, but because they believe in helping those people and those groups any way they can. They deserve recognition. Anyone interested in nominating a person who they believe deserves to be honored can contact Jeff at Frozen Fire by Facebook or by email, frozenfirestudios@outlook.com. While there are a few serious aspects to the evening, the main reason for the Sober Social is simply to have a good time. Descender said there's a wide array of entertainment planned and that it should have something fun for everyone. This is a place where you can go out, enjoy a few bands, dance and socialize, and just be surrounded by positivity. We wouldn't do this if we didn't think it was going to be a good time. It's about having fun, just a great night of music and entertainment. And when we say all-inclusive, we mean that. Individuals, families, youth, we think it's something everyone can enjoy. Last year's Sober Social was able to raise $625, which was donated to Miles for Mental Health, whose aim is to raise awareness about the connection between mental health and physical activity. For this year, all proceeds raised will be donated to Westmen Mental Wellness and Suicide Prevention. The second annual all-ages Super Social is scheduled for Friday, June the 7th at the Royal Canadian Legion, number 23 in Neepawa. Tickets are $10 and the start time is set for 6 p.m. If you are unable to make the event but want to support the cause, you can buy support tickets from Frozen Fire Studios or contact them to set up a donation. That sounds like a great idea. This week for Out of Helen's Kitchen by Helen Drysdale, it's entitled Chicken. No matter how you serve it, This slow cooker Polynesian chicken recipe is sweet and tangy and will be loved by both kids and adults alike. Slow cooker Polynesian chicken. Sounds yummy. I didn't have breakfast, so I shouldn't read that. Connections, support, and remembrance. Carberry Memorial Fundraiser returns to honor lost loved ones by Casper Werhan. A memorial event that received overwhelming support last year is returning to Carberry next week. On May 25th, all in the area are invited to participate in a walk/run in honor of Kalina Green. The walk or run is being hosted at the R.J. Wow School grounds starting at 3 p.m. This event is a combination of a celebration of life and a fundraiser for the community of Carberry. The first annual walk/run had over 500 participants and raised a grand total of $36,712 for the Carberry Splash Park Committee. For the 2024 edition, this event is also dedicated to all those who have lost a loved one. There is nothing better than the feeling of connection and support during grief, but also in day-to-day life, said Jared Green via a public statement. Last year, we celebrated Kalina's 31st birthday by hosting a memorial run for her, as she loved to do both. This year, we will do the same for her 32nd birthday. However, this year we will also dedicate the day to those you have lost. Jara added, we encourage you to come join us on May 25th at the RJW School grounds to share stories, memories, and support each other by being present. We would also love to see you bring a photo or photos of your loved ones and wear their favorite color or clothing. Those wishing to participate with a walk or run have the option of a 2-kilometer walk or a 5-kilometer run. A barbecue and refreshments will be available afterwards and a silver collection present. The beneficiaries for this year are the Carberry Splash Park in honor of Kalina Green, Xander's Legacy Fund in honor of Xander Campbell to raise awareness of mental health and support local projects, and the R.J. Wow School will have a 50-50 draw. Both Kalina Green and Xander Campbell were active and adventurous individuals, well known and well loved by the community. The Campbell family is such a huge part of the community, and Xander had such an impact on so many people's lives. We thought it would be really beneficial for the community as well as the Campbell family and the Legacy Fund to benefit from this as well. So we really wanted to include them in this year's event. Donations benefiting the memorials causes can be given by cash, a check to the town of Carberry, or e-transfer to town@townofcarberry.ca for the splash park specifically. E-transferring to Xander's Legacy Fund at gmail.com, or by visiting Carberry Westover Credit Union to benefit Xander's Legacy Fund specifically. E-transfers for each should indicate in memory of Kalina Green. If a general donation is received at the event with an unspecified recipient, it will be split 50-50 between the Splash Park and Xander's Legacy. Sharing a final comment on behalf of the organizing committee, Jara stated, I have said this a million times and will continue to say it. We truly do have the best community. We hope to see you there. Now, we have an RCMP report this week. Beware of potential crypto investment scam by Sergeant David Taggart, Spruce Plains RCMP. In the month of March, we had 234 occurrences. There were 2 72-hour roadside suspensions, with one of them being due to high levels of marijuana in their system. We did a check stop one evening on Highway 16 and did 25 mandatory alcohol screening tests on the drivers coming through, and all drivers were sober. The speeder of the month. The speeder of the month was a 23-year-old driver from Minnedosa, traveling 163 kilometers an hour in a 100 zone through the RM of Oakview. The driver was served a serious offense notice, which initiates a license review with MPI. Now, this anti-fraud tip about investment scams. Scammers are contacting people asking them to invest in cryptocurrency or other financial investments. They get them to deposit large amounts of money in these investments. They tell you to go to a website to track your finances. The website shows your investments are doing very well. The scam here is that they created a false website with a program that shows your investments going up all the time. When you want to withdraw your money, they keep asking for more money. There are several hundred legitimate cryptocurrency exchanges where you can invest in. Now, tips to keep safe. Before investing, research to see if the company you are sending money to is legitimate. Another tip that it could be a scam is if you've never met in person with whom you're getting this financial advice. If it is a Canadian company, you can contact the Better Business Bureau to inquire about the company. Now, here are some signs that you may be getting scammed. Number one is when you're asked to send money by way of gift cards. Number two, if someone you never met in person is asking you to send them money. Number three, the scammer will ask you to withdraw the money from a bank that's not in your community. Reason for this is if you're withdrawing a large sum of money from your local bank is more likely to ask some questions for your own financial safety. Bank employees have saved countless people from being scammed. And number four, if you're told you won a prize in a contest that you never entered, then you are asked to send money in order to receive the prize. So for more information on other frauds and scams, visit the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. All right. Here is a large article about someone that spoke at the Neepawa Rotary Club meeting recently. Our Successes in Partnerships by Casper Werhon. The Neepawa Rotary Club became better acquainted with the new Neepawa chapter of Habitat for Humanity last week. On May the 8th, the Rotary welcomed John Lavich, chairperson of the Neepawa chapter, as the speaker for their luncheon that day. And here's a picture of him speaking. Habitat for Humanity has built 500 homes in Manitoba since 1987, with 19 being built in 2023. Adding to this, 24 homes will be built in 2024. The Neepawa chapter of Habitat for Humanity was officially formed in March of this year and services Neepawa, Gladstone, Carberry, and Minnedosa. The noontime speech at the Rotary meeting provided all in attendance with better insight as to how Habitat for Humanity works. So this is John Lavich speaking. Our success is in partnerships. Not only with families, but with the communities and businesses. We're helping each other, so it's a great way of giving back to your community. The way we help is to give a quality, affordable home for families. Integrity is a great thing that we try to promote. Inspire openness, fairness, honesty, and honor. And excellence. We pursue to do the best we can to help people with quality, safe homes and a safe environment to bring up the kids. Habitat Neepawa has a few different committees involved in its process. These are the steering committee, which acts as the nucleus and handles the paperwork to get things going. the Fundraising and Promotions Committee, and the Settlement Committee, which selects the families. John said how we select families is we start up an information meeting to get people involved, to see if they want to be part of the selection of getting a house. Here's a few things like your financing, trying to improve your family home life, improve safety, just trying to get a jump on life and have your own home. He added, the selection process needs to start right away because we need to know what the family looks like how big of a house is needed. Our maximum house that we do is about 1,000 square feet, but that's just on one floor. We can do the basement and finish the basement off depending what the family needs. So we need to find that family fairly quickly, and that's about a 6 to 8 month process. Families selected by Habitat for Humanity purchase their house at market value with no interest on their loan and no down payment required. The mortgage is paid to Habitat for Humanity with the bill set to a minimum of $750 per month for 15 years. He said it depends on their value of their monies they bring in. They can only put into a house 27% of their money coming in into the house themselves. So we won't ask more than that. If there's a couple people in the house that work, both their money, all the monies that come in, we're going to see if we can have 27%. So it might be a minimum of $750, but it's going to go up to how much money they bring in. A couple of conditions apply to the purchasing of the house through Habitat. These conditions are the following. Number one, the client must commit $500 worth of community service or towards the house to help out. Number two, the house cannot be resold within the first 7 years of ownership. The mortgage can also be bought out at any time if the client acquires the funds to do so. John says, we're not giving them stuff. They have to earn it. It gives them more self. It's their house when they're earning it. So that's a big thing that we're promoting. We don't give houses, we're giving them the opportunity. They may not have a house because they can't go to the bank or get a mortgage to get a down payment, or they don't have enough monies, and this is a good way to get them started. Lavich estimated that the material cost for a 1,000 square foot house would be approximately $150,000. However, Habitat Neepawa is working on a full cost estimate of approximately $250,000. For these expenses, the local chapter of Habitat for Humanity is required to raise 75%. This could be for labor, land, material, or any other items in relation to the house. Habitat for Humanity Canada is capable of providing for the remaining cost. However, the Neepawa chapter will seek to raise enough funds to cover the full cost of its builds. Lavich noted that the money earned from these houses circles back to the community, and as more houses get built, Habitat Neepawa would get to a point where they could do a build without needing to fundraise. In 2024, our plan is fundraising, and we have our first build being planned for 2025. Since we started in Neepawa, our first build will be here too. Additional items addressed at the Rotary meeting in terms of general business included, but is not limited to: number one, Rotary's receipt of $500 donation from the Legion Ladies Auxiliary. These funds will be put towards Rotary's youth programming. Number two, approval of a sponsorship of $300 benefiting the local 2024 Filipino Heritage Month activities. Number three, approval of a request from the town of Neepawa for our sponsorship benefiting this year's Canada Day activities. And number four, the presentation of a certificate and pin to Rotary member Pam Miller declaring her a Paul Harris Fellow. And here she is receiving it. She was unable to make the Paul Harris Rotary banquet, so Bob Durston presented it to Pam that particular meeting. And there's a note at the bottom: a full recording of John Lavitch's presentation is also available on NACTV. All right, now the 9th annual Neepawa and District Chamber Fair is drawing near. By Casper Warehan. Town-wide fun will be making its home in Neepawa next week. That's because the Neepawa and District Chamber Fair is returning to the fairgrounds for its 9th annual event from May 24th to the 26th. The Midway will be open from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday, noon till 10 p.m. on Saturday, and noon to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Ellie Potepka, Chamber Board and Fair Committee member, told the Banner and Press on May 13th that the same Midway company from last year, called Select Shows, is returning for 2024. We are excited to have them back again, as received a lot of great feedback about their rides and food last year. In addition to the Midway, the 9th annual fair weekend also features a variety of other activities. These include a pancake breakfast, a car show, food trucks, small animal farm, reptile gardens, an old-time dance, and more. A full schedule of all Chamber Fair weekend events can be found on page 20 of this week's paper. This event is completely run by volunteers, and Petrepka noted that more are currently being accepted. We appreciate help from the community to keep this event running smoothly. Volunteer shifts are 2 hours long throughout Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If any community members are interested in volunteering, they can contact me at 204-868-0733. And here we have some pictures from last year at the fair. Here we have an aerial view of the fairgrounds, which have been provided courtesy of John Luigi Pido. Here we have utter focus is exhibited as this fair goer winds up a punch to test his strength as bystanders look on and provide encouragement. Over here, youngsters enjoy one of the kiddie rides. It's like a dragon ride. And here, glitter and airbrush tattoos added an extra Midway flair for any who stop by the booth. Carberry's first children's business fair a success, by Rain Pryor. 11 young entrepreneurs participated in Carberry's first children's business fair, setting up booths around the Carberry Hall on Saturday and selling products ranging from lemonade to jewelry to macrame. Tamara Flett, Administrative Arts Director with the Carberry Plains Art Council, said that she got the idea from a parent of one of the young entrepreneurs, and while organizing the event also reached out to Neepawa EDO Maryland crew, who organized a similar event in Neepawa last summer. It's turned out great, said Flett. What the kids do is they make a business plan, they make a business name, they design their product, and then they sell it. It's all their work. Young entrepreneurs aged 6 to 15 were encouraged to design their own business and put their product or service on sale during the fair. There was also a judged component for the business with the highest business potential. That award went to 12-year-old Enrico Prednikov and his business, Enrico's Custom Woodworking, which sold signs, planters, and other woodworked objects. The day was rounded out by a Mother's Day stepping stone craft for the kids and a hot dog lunch provided by the new Child Care Development Committee. The Children's Business Fair originated with the Acton Academy in Austin, Texas, and since 2007 has spread to over 20 countries and almost 600 towns and cities all over the world. Oh, it's wonderful. Ooh, the sights of spring come to life in Neepawa. Look at these beautiful pictures here. A vivid variety of color is blooming around greenhouses throughout the banner and press coverage area. Seen here this week are some of the selections available at the greenhouse of Neepawa. These are from the pictures from the greenhouse of Neepawa, and this is from the Lily Nook. All right, the banner and press home and garden section. Fresh air and sunshine can do wonders for the body and even the soul. People realize this, which is why outdoor activity is encouraged. Staying indoors all the time can quickly sap energy levels and diminish mood. What is good for human beings also may be good for pets. Within reason, of course. Domestic companion animals can benefit from time in the great outdoors. It provides them new sights and sounds, opportunities to explore, and new ways to exercise. Their owners just need to take precautions to make outdoor ventures safe for domesticated animals. The good news is there are steps to make time outdoors safer for pets. Those who have the benefit of a yard will want to fence it in. Fences stop pets from running away, and they can limit the probability that predators will get inside the yard. The yard should routinely be inspected for dangers, including poisonous plants like poison ivy or mushrooms that pets may ingest, as well as other hazards. A pet door can provide convenient access to the outdoors when pets would like to get outside. Doors can be purchased with radio signal locks that will disengage when a pet wearing an electric collar tries to go through. Otherwise, the door stays closed for security reasons. Pets will need ways to cool off or warm up when spending time outdoors. Extreme heat or cold could be dangerous, so avoid having pets spend prolonged periods of time outside if the weather is especially harsh. Pets should not be left entirely to their own devices outdoors. Fences may keep some predators out, but those that can fly or climb or burrow can make it inside. Keep tabs on pets while they are outside. Do not keep a dog tied up for a while, as the animal may get tangled and choke. Walks around the neighborhood are made much safer with the use of leashes, or leads as they are sometimes called. A leash enables pet owners to restrain their pets if need be, and prevent them from running loose and getting lost. Antifreeze, oil, and even discarded trash can be dangerous to pets if ingested. Pet owners need to exercise caution on walks. Certain retailers have relaxed their policies about letting pets inside. Others have not, but seemingly turn a blind eye when pets come inside. By and large, only certified service animals are legally allowed to be in most retail stores. Bringing an emotional support animal or another pet in the store can compromise the ability of trained animals to provide proper care because they may become distracted by other pets. Non-service animals also may become injured by shopping carts or get under feet of shoppers if they are not properly leash trained. Pet owners can safeguard domesticated animals and pets in various ways when spending time outdoors. And speaking of outdoors, gardening offers more than a day in the sun. Millions of people embrace opportunities to get back in their gardens each spring, and they might be reaping more rewards from that activity than they realize. According to the American Institute of Stress, gardening sparks a level of creativity among enthusiasts, and that can help to alleviate stress by lowering levels of the hormone cortisol. In addition, authors of a 2022 study published in the journal Urban Forestry and Urban Greening concluded that gardening during the COVID-19 pandemic helped people cope with coronavirus-related stress through outdoor activity. All right, here's a little bit of sports. Trio of Titans make college commitments by the Banner staff. 3 departing members of the Neepawa Titans will be taking another step forward in their hockey careers. John Baird, Hayden Stocks, and Connor Thompson have all committed to post-secondary programs. Baird has committed to the University of Arizona and will play for the Arizona Wildcats in the 2024-25 season. The Wildcats are a Division I program that competes in the Western Collegiate Hockey League. Stocks, meanwhile, will attend the University of Wisconsin Stout in the fall and be a member of the Wisconsin Stout Blue Devils. The Blue Devils are a Division III program based out of the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. And as for Thompson, he has committed to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. The Eau Claire Blue Golds are an NCAA Division III program that competes in the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. In media releases confirming these 3 advancements, Titan head coach and general manager Ken Pearson congratulated Baird, Stocks, and Thompson on their progress and for their commitments to Neepawa during their tenure here. John Baird had this to say about playing in Neepawa. I'm very grateful for my time in Neepawa. I would like to thank my teammates and coaches for such a great year on and off the ice, the community of Neepawa for supporting the team and creating a great atmosphere at the Yellowhead. Finally, I would like to thank my billet family for taking me in as one of their own. As for Stocks, he stated, I really enjoyed my 2 seasons playing in Neepawa. I want to thank my family, my billets and teammates, and our coaching staff for making them so special and helping me develop into a better player and person on and off the ice. For Thompson, he had this to say about playing in Neepawa. My 2 seasons in Neepawa have been nothing short of amazing. From everyone involved with the team and the whole community, it's a great place to play junior hockey. I would like to give a special thank you to my family, the whole Titans coaching staff, teammates, billet family, and everyone else that has supported me and helped me become the player and person I am today during my time in Neepawa. Baird, who is from Phoenix, Arizona, played in Neepawa for 1 season. In 48 regular season games with the Titans, he amassed 4 goals and 12 assists. Stocks, meanwhile, is from Edmonton, Alberta, and joined the Titans in 2022. In 100 regular season games, he contributed 53 goals along with 47 assists. Thompson is from Lino Lakes, Minnesota, and played in 89 regular season games for the Titans and had 28 goals and 29 assists. The 2024 Gladstone Music and Arts Festival submitted by Neepawa Banner and Press. Young performers from the Gladstone, Plumas, McGregor, Austin, and Langruth areas shared their love of music and arts during the 91st Gladstone Music and Arts Festival held in April. This is always a great educational experience where performers can receive feedback from seasoned and professional adjudicators to enrich their skills and further develop in appreciation of the arts. Thank you to the many volunteers who helped during the 2024 festival. Without the commitment of the festival committee and additional volunteers, the festival would not be possible. Thank you to William Morton Collegiate Institute, Gladstone Elementary School, Gladstone United Church for the use of the venue locations. Thank you to the municipality of Westlake Gladstone for printing the festival program. Finally, thank you to all those who generously donated to the festival in 2024. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. The piano sessions were held on April 9th and 10th with Maddie Hildebrand adjudicating. Maddie teaches at Brandon University and has completed her doctorate in music at Stony Brook University in New York. The speech, choral, and vocal sessions were held on April 17th with Alyssa Hildebrand adjudicating. Alyssa teaches voice to students across Manitoba at many different levels and abilities. She enjoys working in a variety of styles with her students, including classical, folk, and musical theater. 2 community choirs performed in a non-competitive class. They were the Neepawa Choraleers and the Neepawa Area Community Choir. The band sessions were held on April 25th with Matt Neufeld adjudicating. Matt is a graduate of the University of Manitoba. Matt works at Oak Park High School in Winnipeg. The band sessions were in a workshop format where the adjudicator worked with each band or ensemble after their selections were performed. The Gladstone Music and Arts Festival Band Trophy presented to the most outstanding band performance was presented to William Morton Collegiate Senior Band. The Gladstone Music and Arts Festival Speech Arts Trophy presented to the most outstanding speech arts performance was presented to Isla Funk, Rihanna Young, and Taylor Hebert. The Doris Sigurdsson Memorial Trophy presented to the most outstanding performance in piano solo or duet, beginner to grade 4, was presented to Elizabeth Pugh. The Joy Mowat Memorial Trophy presented to the most outstanding performance in piano solo or duet, grade 5 and up, was presented to Reagan Tycrobe. The Gladstone Music Festival Rose Bowl presented to the most outstanding vocal performance was presented to Ayla McConnell. The Matthew Tycrobe Scholarship Awards presented to the most outstanding piano performances in piano solo, Canadian grade level 4 and up, were presented to Reagan Tycrobe, who came in first place, and Chloe Nishaw, who came in second place. The Wanda Toth Memorial Scholarship Award presented to a hard-working, dedicated, passionate piano student who shows a positive attitude in lessons and shares their music with others, was presented to Jocelyn Fair. Okay. The Gladstone Market Report by Tyler Slawinski. Howdy, cattle producers. This is Tyler Slawinski reporting from the Gladstone Auction Mart for Tuesday, May 14th. Mother Nature is the boss when it comes to the weather. Low-pressure systems bring cool rains across the prairies, slowing the seeding process. With an old-time general soaker, all that will be lacking is some heat to get things growing. Fencing, processing cattle, and moving the cattle one step closer to their summer pastures are all activities taking place over the last week. The countdown is on, I'm sure, for both of us and the cattle before their diet will change to lush green grass. When it comes to marketing cattle this time of year, quality generally starts to decline, while varieties of cattle increase, making it tough to fill loads and orders. The market this week was fairly active. Cattle fit for breeding or grass are bringing prices that shouldn't be complained about, and cows and bulls are also on the most wanted list with high demands. Supply and demand is definitely supporting the cattle market at this time. We sold 1,107 cattle through the ring in Gladstone on Tuesday. The market saw a variety of cattle. The market seemed slightly stronger in most spots, but was fairly steady for the most part. In some cases, certain weight breaks trended softer, which made for a mixed outlook. The first cut cattle are becoming few and far between and are still in high demand. Second and third cut cattle are definitely showing signs of pressure, but are still bringing plenty more than they did 1 year ago. Cows and bulls traded with plenty of strength. from 166 to 185, with stronger averages. Bulls traded with power ranging between 212 to 226. All classes of cattle sold well. Plainer type cattle are still being discounted. Be sure to check out the updated schedule as cattle numbers start to soften. As they start to soften, we have decided to skip every other week. This allows for more cattle sale day and to accommodate our cattle buyer who need volume to create loads and fill orders. This has been Tyler Slawinski reporting from the Gladstone Auction Mart, and thank you for being a part of our industry. Here's one by Owen Devereaux called Grit Force Fitness competes at the Comp 2024. Members of Grit Force Fitness in Neepawa powered themselves to the podium recently at a high-level CrossFit competition. Sherry Hawken and Sadie Catherine finished in first place in the intermediate women's division at the Comp 2024 competition. The Comp is Winnipeg's largest annual CrossFit event and involves teams representing fitness clubs from across the province. The event features athletes of all different skill levels, novice, intermediate, and RX, and a variety of functional movements performed at high intensity. The Hawken-Catherine duo nicknamed their team the Cougar and the Cub and combined to win their division with an impressive 695 points, 65 clear of their nearest competition. They also finished as the top team in 6 of 7 featured events, which make up their combined scorecard. Congratulations to Hawken and Catherine, along with the other teams from Grit Force Fitness that participated in the event. Those other teams featured were in the novice women, weights before date, Silo Manago and Preston Finney. In the novice masters women, SFW, Brenda L. Oceanic and Laurie McIntosh, and the classic crushers, Tricia Finney and Jennifer Enns. In the intermediate men, Les Papacool, Jean-Philippe Charpentier and Kyle Ford. Read that already. And obviously the Chamber Fair is May 25th, 4th, 5th, and 6th, 24th, 25th, 26th. And so make sure you come and take part in that, as it will be a good time. Thumbs up, thumbs down, page 5. A thumbs up and thanks to Ryan McLaughlin and McLaughlin GM for all their support for the Neepawa Ballers Winter Basketball League. McLaughlin is responsible for providing the sponsorship trophies for the league champion, as well as second and third place for both the senior and junior divisions. I just want to acknowledge his support to the league with their logo on it. I really appreciate it. Thank you. From Van Afwang, Neepawa, Manitoba. Also, a thumbs up to the people of Polonia for the lovely meal on April 28th. Well served, well prepared. Thank you, from Louise Jones of Neepawa. Okay, Homebodies by Rita Friesen. Rainy day musing. Ari and I went for a lovely long walk in the rain. The key concept is that once you are properly dressed for the rain, that's me, a walk in the rain is a beautiful thing. And for Ari, once you are wet, it doesn't matter how much wetter you get. And so we walked. With my rain boots, it mattered not if I dodged the puddles or plowed right through them. And to my little dog, it didn't matter either way, both ways worked well. We put in our steps. Upon our arrival home, Ari resisted being towel dried. and hurried off to bed. I shucked my gear and followed her. There we were under the covers, warming our chilled bones, and her drying off by dampening the linens. Before we knew, an hour or more had slipped away, and it was snack time. For Ari, it was mastering her new kibble dispenser, a pop-up that allows food to trickle into a hollow covered by a flip lid. It may be a new toy, but it didn't slow her down. I was not complaining, for as eager as she was for the dog food, was as eager as I was to read the legend and find my favorite chocolate in the luxury box I received on the weekend. So, long walk, long enough snooze, and treats. A perfect rainy day. I'm between projects, and so a rainy day allows me to justify doing very little. I can read or sit or wander aimlessly around my home and yard. There is nothing I need to be doing, and for much of the time, nothing I want to be doing. I could bake or book, but I have leftovers and chocolates. I could clean, but with the rainy forecast, washing floors with Ari coming in and out is rather a waste of time and energy. I could putter in the garage, but I need materials for both of the projects underway, and I will pick those up tomorrow. So, food in the fridge, chocolates, and no fixed goal, a perfect rainy day. Folks have been asking me if travel's in my plans. Not in my immediate plans for now. I logged on and followed Inica and Ray's travels in Portugal. Quaint towns and stunning scenery, flora and fauna to amaze, a wonderful daily journal for me to share. Sister, the elder, is in Venice and regularly posts photos and explanations of her days there. Exhibitions, cemeteries, cathedrals, and dazzling sights. I am seeing parts of the world without leaving my comfy chair, a steaming coffee in my hand, and a dog on my lap. A perfect rainy day. Did it take me getting old to enjoy a rainy day? No. As a child of a farmer, a rainy day was all of the above and more. It was a day to get caught up with the tasks that had been delayed. It was a chance to sit over an afternoon cup of coffee, and more common than not, it was a day that a neighbor stopped by. There were seasons the day was not welcome. Seeding, haying, and harvest, we saw the rain as a gift. A perfect rainy day. Statement from Riding Mountain MLA Greg Nesbitt on the ban watercraft from Clear Lake. The federal government's decision is disappointing and devastating news for Riding Mountain communities and the parkland economy. While I strongly disagree with this decision, it is clear the Manitoba NDP has failed to take the threat of invasive zebra mussels seriously and are not stepping forward to support the families and businesses who rely on our tourism industry for their livelihoods. Since last year, I have been urging the NDP government to add boat inspection stations in Dauphin and Russell and to work with Parks Canada to prevent any potential spread of invasive mussels out of Clear Lake into downstream tributaries. Proactive and regular water testing and mobilizing our dedicated conservation officer service to enforce boat inspections will protect our waterways and communities. It will send a clear message to the federal government and the public that Manitoba takes aquatic invasive species seriously. It took the NDP 5 years to act when zebra mussels came to Manitoba under their watch in 2009. Our battle to prevent the spread of aquatic invasive species is extremely important, and Manitobans can't afford to repeat the costs of NDP inaction. We need the NDP government, boaters, and everyone else playing in and on Manitoba's waterways to get on board to protect Clear Lake and Riding Mountain National Park. I think that's what Ken Waddell's article is a little bit about too. Right in the center by Ken Waddell. This week it's entitled Swatting Flies with a Sledgehammer. My first encounter with a government edict to eradicate something was in 1971 in my first year as an ag rep with the Manitoba Department of Agriculture, or MDA. The enemy to be eradicated in 1971 was an old one, leafy spurge. I say an old one because leafy spurge was introduced to Canada in the early 1800s, coming into the country as a contaminant in imported seed. During the late 1960s and onward, the MDA intensified their setup of local weed control boards, and many still function today. The intent of the boards was to oversee the control of noxious weeds in Manitoba. The control methods included the use of herbicides, selective grazing, and mowing. Most municipalities implemented roadside spraying programs, which thankfully has been replaced by roadside mowing. Nothing was much uglier than that sprayed weeds, brush, and even trees along the various roads. In spite of well-intentioned efforts, controlling leafy spurge may have had some success, but eradication is impossible. Leafy spurge is readily seen on a drive-by basis across all of Manitoba. Efforts may have controlled it, but it certainly hasn't been eradicated. Fast forward to 2023-24, and the federal government has become very excited about zebra mussels in Manitoba waterways. Clear Lake has been the object of the government's latest mussel attention. One report says there are no zebra mussels in Clear Lake. Another report says a clump was found. Zebra mussels have been in Minnesota lakes for 30 years, raising concerns about effects on sport fishing. Here's what is said about the problem in Minnesota. Zebra mussels encrust equipment such as boat motors and hulls, which reduces performance and efficiency and is costly to clean and repair. Swimmers and pets can cut their feet on zebra mussels attached to rocks, docks, swim rafts, and ladders. Various studies over the past 30 years show that in many cases, the walleye adapt and thrive. In some cases, the fish don't grow as fast. In Manitoba, the mussels can cause clogging of inlets at hydro dams and can be very costly to clean out. Zebra mussels can be a food source to some fish, apparently, as well. My research has been far from extensive, but eradicating zebra mussels is not possible, and controlling the spread is very difficult. Sources say they number in the hundreds of trillions in the Great Lakes. Mussels attach themselves to boats, and that is one way they spread from lake to lake. My problem is that the federal government has taken a strange approach to zebra mussels in Clear Lake. They won't let boats come into the lake except for Parks Canada boats. 2 other boats are exempted, but they never leave the lake anyway, as far as I can see. Some of the exclusions in the ban seem silly. Canoes, wakeboards, and paddle boats are banned. That means so far that even businesses won't be able to rent out pedal or paddle boats, etc. It makes no sense. These crafts could be cleaned off, and if they never leave Clear Lake, there shouldn't be a problem. Parks Canada has a history of swatting flies with a sledgehammer, and this ban is another example. Back in the day when Parks Canada did everything they could to destroy the Mount Agassiz ski hill, they succeeded in doing so by making up rules that made no sense. They claimed that having skiers on Mount Agassiz was going to harm the environment somehow. Just down the road, though, the old Kippens Mill historical site has been allowed to rot into the ground. The last time I was there a few years ago, the signage was bad, and the old mill pond safety fence to keep out both animals and people was so broken down that there was no safety at all. Parks Canada won't allow selective logging in the park, but they do conduct selective controlled burning. Trouble is, those controlled burns don't always stay controlled, and even if they do, Thousands of small animals, birds, and insects are destroyed in the fires. Instead of logging some of the very old or dead trees, they let the wind blow them down. I personally was at a family picnic at Clear Lake when a wind came up and several of the older trees came crashing down right beside us. Many of the rules at Parks Canada are designed to spoil fun and destroy business, all the while pretending to be environmentally friendly. It seems like Park Canada's policies have been set up to keep the parks people free. If that is the case, then why don't they just shut the parks down and save a lot of money? All right, I'm going to read Neil Stroshine's Faithfully Yours. This week it's entitled God's School of Continuous Education, Part 1. It's the world's most unique school. We are automatically enrolled when we are born. We graduate the day we die. Classes are always in session. There are no recesses, lunch hours, or holidays. Every class session ends with a pop quiz, an event sent to test us to see how well we have learned our lessons. This unique school is God's School of Continuous Education. He is the school's principal. He wrote the school's textbook, the Bible, and he decides the daily lesson plans for every person on this planet. And since each of us is a unique person, God's lesson plans are as unique as we are and are tailor-made to our daily needs and the challenges we will face. 3 of the courses in God's school are compulsory. The first is birth. It is an event over which we had absolutely no control. We did not choose our date of our birth. We did not choose our parents. We did not choose our country of birth, nor did we choose the community in which we would spend our early years or the parents and family that would guide us through them. Those choices were made for us. The second compulsory course is death. As with birth, we have no control over the exact date and time of our death. God alone knows that. All we know for certain is our bodies are not built to last forever. One day they will get sick and ultimately die. Only God knows when that will happen. The third compulsory course is life, the time between birth and death. We must live our lives one day at a time, facing the challenges that come our way, making choices, and dealing with their consequences, whether good or bad. Some of our choices are so routine that we make them without thinking. The consequences of these choices won't last for long. For example, if you choose to wear a mismatched pair of socks to work, and one of your colleagues points that out, you will suffer temporary embarrassment. But that's all. You can always change socks when you go home for lunch. Problem solved. Some choices will have longer-term consequences. These include where you will work, where you will live, who you will have as friends, and which local organizations you will join. Once made, you will have to live with their consequences for a long time. An unwise choice can be undone. It may take time and cost money, but it can be done. Some choices have consequences that last a lifetime. This list includes who you will marry, how many children you will have, and what career you will choose to pursue. 2 of these choices can be undone. Dysfunctional marriages can be dissolved. If you are unsatisfied with your current career choice, you can train for a different one. But your children will always be your children. You can cut social and economic ties with them, but you will never be able to deny that they are your children. One more choice must be considered. It is a choice that we all must make at some time in our lives. This choice requires us to answer this question: who will we acknowledge as supreme being and ultimate authority in our lives? The consequences of this choice will last for time and eternity. We will explore it in detail next week. All right, we have just a short bit of time left. So I'll go to looking back. This is a page that talks about days from long, long ago in the Neepawa area. Like 125 years ago, in 1899, George Martin, nephew of C.W. Hurls, arrived in town on Saturday from Winnipeg in quest of a situation. A note: the section for March through early May is absent from the hard copy archives of this year. As such, an excerpt from late May has been selected for this week. Okay. So 100 years ago, 1924, Fred Clark has commenced his tri-weekly auto truck service between Neepawa, Brookdale, Oberon, Wellwood, and Edrons, making the circuit Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. His business is mostly for the Neepawa Creamery, but light consignments of other goods may be sent. 75 years ago, 1949, a flying field will be operated at Clear Lake this year, it was learned. Plans are being made to open a landing strip at the lake, May 24th. 50 years ago, 1974, Yellowhead Manor, the new apartment block for senior citizens, is now Neepawa's tallest building, as it is being topped off at 6 stories. Construction has been progressing steadily with the arrival of spring, and while the structure has not yet been covered with a roof, windows and interior wall strappings are being installed in the lower floors. When completed, the building will contain 50 modern apartments. Not so modern anymore. Administration and selection of occupants will be handled by the Board of Directors of Eastview Lodge. Like other rural Manitoba centres, Neepawa sports fans will soon have the opportunity to enjoy the thrilling action of all-star professional wrestling. An attractive card has been arranged for the Yellowhead Centre Arena Tuesday evening, May 28th. This is 50 years ago. And the promoters are anticipating a tremendous crowd to watch the well-known grapplers in the first wrestling matches offered in Neepawa and district fans for some years. 20 years ago, 2004, life in southern Manitoba ground to a halt for much of Tuesday and Wednesday as a spring storm system dumped over 30 centimeters of snow in the area. Yuck. Anna Lustig of Neepawa is one of 5 Manitoba nurses to receive the Excellence in Professional Nursing Award. A Neepawa-based auxiliary constable has been recognized for his tireless efforts in bettering the community with the Manitoba Attorney General's Safer Communities Award. Don Charlie Webb has volunteered with both the Neepawa and Eden chapters of the Citizens on Patrol program. 2 years ago, he took his involvement with law enforcement one step further, signing on as an auxiliary constable, one of 7 with the Spruce Plains RCMP detachment. Cam Tibbett. Now, this is 20 years ago. Cam Tibbett wasn't expecting to be named the most outstanding player in Manitoba high school hockey for the 2003-04 season. Tibbett was named the recipient of the Eddie Balfour Award, outpolling 2 top-flight Winnipeg players. The award is presented to a player who achieves on-ice success while maintaining an academic average of at least 65%. Very good. All right, well, that does it this week for the reading of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you another time. So, bye for now.